Today is Monday, February 13th. Fuck it. I'll start again. Except that I won't edit that out. By the way, this is Rated Cupcakes. Because I felt like drinking a little bit and making a video for you nice people out there in the audience. I've been watching quite a bit of Orson Welles lately, and I felt the need to continue using his voice even though I haven't been able to work on An Equestrian Invasion for a little while. Also, when you drink, sometimes you do strange things. For example, I'm narrating to you what I'm talking about and what I'm doing right now, and my background has Scootaloo with a pie about to hit Trixie in the face. Now, in addition to that, I've been watching a lot of videos to make me laugh, and one of those things are bits and pieces of the Critic where Orson Welles shows up and talks about fish sticks and frozen peas and such. Now, obviously I can't do a live stream because I've never done that before and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I can at least give you something very similar to a live stream, which I will probably post without any editing whatsoever. It will be a poor decision, and I will do it anyways. Some of the things from the Critic are Orson Welles talking about the living will. Ah, yes. The living will, a realm of fantasy and goblins. No goblins, Mr. Welles. Fine. A realm of mystery and suspense. I give you the living will. Ah, ha, 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 ha. And these are Mrs. Planter's fish sticks.
Mr. Welles, this isn't the fish sticks commercial.
I know, it was merely a declaration of love. Oh, oh yes. Oh yes.
Rosebud.
What, really? You actually want me to say that? That's terrible. But I'm leaving. Maybe just a handful for the road. Oh, they're even better when you're dead. And so as I continue this process, as I've been drinking a fair bit of scotch, that's right, Cupcakes recording for several minutes, completely random, on a Monday night. That's what I'm doing right now. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm going to look for the Orson Welles Peas sketch, and if you haven't heard it, I will explain it as I'm looking for it and you hear typing in the background.
Those of you who don't know who Orson Welles is an actor who was Citizen Kane and also the original voice for the 1938 War of the Worlds broadcast. The one that scared everyone. The one that An Equestrian Invasion is based on. In his later life, he became a bit of a drinker. A lot of bit of a drinker. In fact, in one of the things from the Critic that I was talking about, he actually says,
"Watch as I make this bottle disappear, as if by magic."
And then he drinks the whole thing, like me right now.
I didn't drink the whole thing, but you all get the idea. Now, that being said, there was a sketch, which many of these things are based off of, where Orson Welles is... Yeah, there we go. I love that Orson Welles is the first... Well, maybe the second thing that pops up when you type in frozen peas. I wonder if there's a transcript. Yes. So, essentially, Orson Welles is speaking over and over again about these frozen peas, which he's doing a radio commercial for. Except, the thing about that is, he's very drunk, and it's a very poorly written script. As a result, Orson Welles starts railing at the people there. "We know of a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there."
Do you really mean that? Yes. So in other words, I'd start half a second later.
Don't you think you want to say July over the snow? Isn't that the fun of it?
If you can make it almost like that when the shot appears, it'll make it more...
I think it's so nice that you see a snow-covered field and say every July peas grow there. We know of a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July peas grow there. We aren't even in the fields. You see, we're talking about growing them, and she's picked them.
What? In July.
I don't understand you then. What must be over for July?
When we get out of the snowy field.
Well, I was out. We were on to a can of peas, a big dish of peas, when I said in July.
I'm sorry, Orson.
Yes, as always. I'm present, past then.
You are?
Yes. What? That's about where I say in July.
Can you emphasize a bit in July?
Why? That doesn't make any sense. Sorry. There's no way of saying an English sentence in which beginning with in and emphasize it. Get me a jury and show me how you can say in July, and I'll go down on you. That's just idiotic, if you'll forgive me for saying so. Well, that's just stupid. In July. I'd love to know how you emphasize in July. Impossible. Meaningless.
I think that they were all thinking about what was, and they didn't want to.
He wasn't thinking.
Orson, can we do that one last time?
Yes.
And it was my fault. And I should say, I said in July, if you could leave every July.
You didn't say it, he said it.
I said every July.
Your friend, every July?
So after this one shot.
No, you don't really mean every July.
It is,
But that's bad copy. It's in July. Of course it's every July. There's too much directing around here.
Oh my. So apparently there's more of these. Apparently there's more where Orson Welles just angrily shouts at the directors. I take a deep breath in, and I think of my fans, and what they might consider when I post this. And then I think, you guys like strange things just as much as I do. And you love hearing me curse and say horrible things in funny accents. And so I'm going to keep going till I get bored. Part 2, Fish Fingers. Or Finnish, because apparently there's not that much left.
Norway. Fish finger. Nor. Findus. Norway. We know of a certain fjord in Norway where the cod gather in great shoals. There, Jan Stanglen. Shit.
A fraction more on that shoals thing, because you rolled around it very nicely.
Yeah, roll it around and I have no more time. You don't know what I'm up against, because it's full of things that are only correct because they're grammatical, because they're tough on the ear. You see, this is a very wearying one. It's unpleasant to read, unrewarding, because Findus freeze the cod at sea and then add a crumb, crisp. Ooh, crumb, crisp coating.
This is, I'm not sure if...
that's tough.
Crumb, crisp coating. There's no way. Orson doesn't know what he's talking.
I think, no. Because of the way it's written, you think you need to break it up because it's not. It's not conversationally written.
What? Take crumb out. Right, that's the word.
Take crumb out. Good.
Part 3, beef burgers.
Here under protest is beef burgers. We know of a little place in the American far west where Charlie Briggs chops up the finest prairie-fed beef and taste. This is a lot of shit, you know that? You want one more?
I do, actually.
More on buck beef.
You missed the first beef, actually, completely.
What do you mean, missed it?
You're emphasizing prairie-fed.
But you can't emphasize beef. That's like he's wanting me to emphasize in before July. Come on, fellas, you're losing your heads. I wouldn't direct any living actor like this in Shakespeare. Will you do this? It's impossible.
Orson, you did 6 last year. And by far and away the best, and I know the reason.
The right reading for this is the one I'm giving it.
For the moment.
I spent 20 times more for you people than any other commercial I've ever made. You're such pests. Now, what is it that you want?
Now I think,
in the depths of your ignorance, what is it?
As I'm descending into a completely random southern accent.
In the depths of your ignorance, what is it that you want? Whatever it is you want, I can't deliver it because I just don't see it.
That was absolutely fine. It really was.
Here, you. This isn't worth it. No money is worth listening to this.
You don't see it, but I'm shaking around my bottle angrily and drinking more scotch because Orson Welles is a hero of mine.
Orson, you died before I was born, and therefore some days I like to pretend that I'm you reincarnated. There's a distinct possibility that that's actually true. With this recording, I hope I've done you proud, my friend. I hope I've done you proud.